there's alpha males in certain groups, in certain scenarios. You know, it changes, but there's not one head troop. That's why the whole thing is flawed now. There's not one leader of the pack. There's not one big alpha wolf just saying, I'm the most aggressive, I'm the biggest, do what I say or else. Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a topic that a lot of you have asked me to answer in the comments before, which is, what is a modern alpha male? You know, is the concept of alpha males outdated? Now, my short answer to this is yes. I believe that the old preconception of alpha male has gone. Okay? The way that people say there's one lead alpha, you know, or the way that people say that guy's the biggest, he's the alpha male. You know, that's completely gone. And it's completely flawed too, because we have a scenario now where there are pocket alphas. Okay, there are scenario-based alphas. So the biggest guy in the room with the biggest muscles, super handsome guy, you know, really strong, great at sports, 6'4". He's not an alpha male in the gaming world. You know, he grabs his controller, he gets killed 400 times in a row, he's shit at this, everyone's laughing at him. Okay? He's not the alpha male in a science lab. He might be the dumbest guy there. He's not an alpha male in success and earning sense. Might be the best looking guy, failed at school, failed at life, you know, handsome guy, getting a few girls, but he's not the alpha male in life because he's just not got what people need once they get past, I think, 21, which is money. Okay, money is what you need. Money becomes the only currency that really fucking matters once you get past a certain age. And then you've got scenarios where you might find somebody who's a billionaire. Okay, guy's a billionaire, alpha male in most of the scenarios. He goes inside a gym, he's a fat, scrawny guy. You know, he's skinny fat, can't lift a single weight, feels embarrassed. Reminds me of Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk, massive alpha male in most scenarios because he's the most intelligent and richest guy. But then if you put him in, not so much now, he's become better at it, but you put him in certain scenarios, he used to get intimidated. You know, now he's like dancing on stage. It's really cool to see. He's come out of his shadow. But he used to get really intimidated doing speeches. Whereas there might have been some guy who's fantastic at speeches, has massive confidence, but doesn't have a lot of money, isn't a billionaire, isn't a genius, isn't the smartest, but he's from Essex in England or New York, and they speak with such confidence and exuberance. That's something that Elon Musk didn't have. So there's pocket alphas. There's alpha males in certain groups, in certain scenarios. You know, it changes, but there's not one head troop. That's why the whole thing is flawed now. There's not one leader of the pack. There's not one big alpha wolf just saying, I'm the most aggressive, I'm the biggest, do what I say or else. It doesn't happen anymore. You know, where we've got laws and society and policing, etc., you don't have to fight now. You don't have to be the biggest guy in the room. You can talk your way out of scenarios. You can legal your way out of scenarios. You know, you can do a lawsuit and then come out of the scenario as the alpha, right? There's so many weird scenarios. So what do I believe has replaced this? Well, that's why I always bang on about the concept of the outlier male, because I believe the term itself, outlier, explains what's going on in this world. So there's not alpha, beta, you know, sigma in between there and gamma and whatever. There's not this like perfect order, because as soon as you change those guys over to another scenario, there's a new order. You know, alpha in the gym, beta in a fucking intelligence sense, or, you know, that person's great at gaming, you put them in the gym and suddenly they're petrified, you know, and their mood changes. They're not as confident as they were 20 minutes ago, right? Everything's different. We're all comfortable with what we like or what we know we're good at. That's what's great about self-improvement. You push yourself to do stuff you're not good at and become good at it. That's why I support it so much and obviously built this brand. But the term outlier male, okay? Outlier means that you're not normal. Out of a group of, let's say, 20 people, you stand out, okay? And that's the key word here. Outlier means standing out. You know, you look at like a graph or something, you look at a chart of data and you go, there's the outlier. There's the outlier point. That piece of data is miles out the way. It's doing something different. It catches your attention, okay? And an outlier male you can get there via two scenarios, okay? You can be a straight 7 across the board in everything that you do. So let's say we're marking this out of 10. So in terms of your body out of 10, you're a 7, okay? So you're comfortable in a gym. You're not top dog, but you're comfortable in a gym. Out of 7, your looks, out of 10, your looks are a 7. Why? Because you've done some orthotropics, you've done the jaw thing I was talking about, you've kept good skin, good hygiene, you've eaten clean, you've been in the gym, etc. So it's made your face and skin, etc. look fantastic. You're a 7 out of 10. It's the best you could have done genetically. Intelligence, well, weren't the best at school, but you've read a lot of books, you've got life experience, you've really improved yourself, you're not drinking too much alcohol, doing drugs, etc. Your brain's sharp, it's working fast, you're, like I said, reading constantly and constantly trying to learn. So it's made you like a 7 out of 10 in terms of intelligence. You see the trend here, guys, you're a straight 7 across the board, which means you're slightly above average. That's all it means. You could be a 6 to 7. If you're around about that range, let's say if 5 is average, 6, 7, slightly above average, well above average. Anything around about that range. I think well above average is obviously better naturally, but 6, 7 across the board in pretty much everything, you're an outlier male, because most guys have strengths and weaknesses. You're pretty consistent. You're one hell of a catch, okay? Or you're one hell of a role model. Or you're the leader of this kind of a lot of groups that you go into. You can hold your own in 70 different scenarios. That's an outlier male. That is the new alpha. Now, the other way to get there is to be a 10 in 3 different areas. I don't think 2's enough unless those 2 are success and appearance. I think if you're the best looking guy and the richest, come on, the world hasn't changed too much since caveman days. In that scenario, you're probably going to be top dog in a lot of scenarios, okay? However, I think but even then, you could still be the stupidest guy in the room and everyone's laughing at you, kind of Joey Essex style. And I just, maybe that doesn't work too well. Let's stick to the system of 3, okay? Just play it safe. I just think you need to be a 10 in 3 scenarios. So if you're the most successful guy in the room, I'm trying to get creative with these and come up with different ones. So I'm not saying the same shit over and over. If you're the most successful guy in the room, you're the most positive guy in the room, you're a 10 in terms of positivity, and you're the best father in the room. Let's say those 3, okay? It's something completely different. Or you're the best dressed in the room, okay? Use any of those based on how old you are, what your scenario is. If you've got those 3, so let's say most successful, best dressed, most positive. That was the 3 I used, okay? If you have those 3, you're an outlier male. That's a pretty good scenario to be in, a successful, positive guy who dresses well. That is going to catch some eyes. That's going to make other guys go, damn, who's this guy? You're going to stand out in a crowd. You're going to do something. You're going to represent very well in a lot of scenarios. Okay? A guy who is super intelligent, in shape, doesn't have a lot of money, but has got a great personality. That is still a fantastic guy. That's 3 areas where you're a 10 in, okay? You're top of the fucking ladder. Like, nobody can beat you in these areas. You're the best dressed guy wherever you go. You got the best body wherever you go. You're the most intelligent guy wherever you go. That is the new alpha male, because it's very diverse, okay? You're an outlier male because you're an alpha male across a range of subjects. You can be adaptable. And this is another concept that I said before, which is the Darwinian male. We're in a scenario now with men where it's not the best looking that survives. It's not the strongest that survives. It's those that can adapt the best to change. And I think that's what an outlier male is. A man who is so good in a range of subjects, or exceptional in at least 3 varied areas of life that somewhat make him an expert generalist, because they cross over, they have crossover effects, stuff like that as well. Things tying together. For example, having a fantastic body, being in great shape, probably makes you better in the bedroom. Okay, there's some crossover there. There's scientific evidence on that. All right, so that's cardio-based and stuff like that. It tends to work, and women orgasm more when you have a better body and stuff like that, all right? So there's certain scenarios like that add up and help, all right? But that is what an outlier, that is what an alpha male is in the modern era. It's somebody that is good across a range of subjects or exception in three, and it turns you into an outlier male, which is somebody that stands out in a crowd. Now, and I still don't think there's one that sits above all. You know, if a guy was a 10 across the board, you know, obviously he's going to dominate most scenarios, but I still don't think there's one singular alpha who just sits above everybody. You know, you think recently Donald Trump and Biden, etc., and neither of those guys have got any respect. Like, nobody really respects those people that much, okay? There's so many people that are like, not my president. Whoever, whether it's Biden or Trump, because I know it's going to change still. They're still, you know, looking at if dead people and Canadians voted, right? Which is crazy to me that that can happen in a democracy. But people are still like, not my president. I wouldn't, you know, Trump's a dick or Biden's a pedophile. You know, you get all these people that just don't care about these people, and they're supposed to be the leaders of the free world. So that whole alpha king and queen scenario, like in the UK, people don't care about the queen. People don't really care who's the king. Like, most people think we could do without them now. You know, they say they bring in a lot for the economy, but people don't really look at it that way anymore. And I don't think that kind of head chimp and everybody else underneath kind of system works anymore. But there's definitely situational alpha males who are outlier males, who are either consistent across the board or they're exceptional in three diverse areas which have a crossover effect, which broaden your horizons and make you somewhat of a renaissance man. That's what I think an alpha male is in this modern era. That is how I'd describe it. More of an outlier male, somebody who stands out, than somebody who dominates and kind of intimidates in order to be on top.